Hello, my name is Inka and welcome back to another knitting podcast episode from me. It has been a month and since I last did an episode and I have so much exciting things to show you. I have finished a few things. I went on a trip, so I got some quite exciting yarns for myself, and yeah, I got some really nice stuff to talk to you about, and I think it's gonna be interesting. So I think the good start is to begin with what I'm wearing, and it's my finished object. It's the Copenhagen cardigan by Petiteknit, and I finished it just in time to wear on my trip, and I wore it there every day, I think. It's just a very basic raglan, top-down raglan cardigan, and I love it. It's so good. The pattern was simple and it fits quite nicely. Yep. The yarns I used were hand-dyed merino sock yarn. It was 75% superwash merino wool and 25% polyamide. It was dyed by Ruskanlehti. She's a Finnish hand dyer in the colorway oliivi, which means olive, and it was this a bit darker olive green. I don't have the yarn anymore because I used it all on this and then on a little thing I did with this, and then I held it with Lana Grossa setasuri, I don't know how to say these words. It is a lace weight silk alpaca blend, so it's very fluffy and it's kind of the same feeling as mohair, but this is way softer. And these were both quite expensive yarns. This I think ended up being my most expensive clothing to this date. Yep, I used 190 grams of the hand-dyed merino yarn and then 90 grams, so I needed to buy 4 balls of the setasuri, and this totaled up to 64 euros and 34 cents. So it's for these kind of yarns it's not so expensive because it didn't use a lot at all, especially of the merino. I only needed to buy 2 skeins, and actually this yarn, this cardigan, in the description it tells you that I knit the size extra small, that I would only use 750 meters, but I made mine cardigan 1 button length shorter, so this much shorter than in the pattern, and I didn't knit the pockets even, and I already used more yarn that it tells, so it's quite I don't know if I would knit this again. I don't know if I would trust the pattern to only buy that little yarn, but it's fine. I initially had only 3 balls of the mohair, but I think I needed most of the sleeve. I needed the second ball, and this is quite nice because the bottom band is ribbed, but it's knitted with the cardigan. It's not picked up afterwards, and you also do the buttonholes as you knit, so it's quite simple, and the ribbing details are quite short, only maybe 1.5 centimeters everywhere. I did my tubular bind-offs with only the merino because I wasn't going to put the fluffy yarn in there, and it turned out well. Now I wore this for a week straight on my trip. I wore this every day because I needed to have something warm, and this was the perfect because it's so soft but it's also warm, but it peels a lot, especially on down the sleeves here, and I don't know if I want to. I have like an electric peel remover, but I don't know if I want to run it over this because it's so fluffy, if it's gonna pick up the fluff. On the everywhere else it looks fine, but here And also here I can already see some spots where all the fluff has gone and there is only the silk cord left, and I don't love that, but I don't know if it's the merino wool or is the Surrey silk more frail and sensitive than mohair, because I haven't experienced this with my mohair. Or is it that I held it with like a very soft superwash yarn? Is that also putting in with the peeling? But I'm guessing that it's the alpaca yarn. It's so soft, it's so fluffy, soft, it's so warm, and I just love it so much. The fit of this is okay. The neckline, you can see it's pretty wide here, and there is short rows, but it's still very like kind of boat neck-y. It's wide and it comes quite high up here. It's not low on the back, it's just I think at the same level as here. So I would maybe add more short rows and maybe cast on less for the collar and then increase after this, because I would probably knit this again if I need a very like a standard cardigan. Also I would add short rows to the back, because the bottom back of this cardigan just rides up, it tilts, so the front just sits lower than the back, which I don't like. I already made this a bit shorter, and I don't know, would I have had enough yarn to make it longer? Maybe not, so if I wouldn't have been able to make it longer, and it's riding up at the back, so I don't know if I can wear this with my low-waisted pants, which was my plan because I love my low-waisted corduroy pants, and this would have looked amazing, but I have to wear like something underneath if I want to wear this with that, like not just only a tank top. I just don't want like 10 centimeters of a tank top to show between like on my back. That's a bit weird, I think. So I will block this again because I haven't washed it after the trip, and I kind of want to wash it because it has been through a lot there. So when I wash this, I'll try to block more length to it, but also this grew quite a lot in washing. It was kind of negative ease when I hadn't blocked it. Now it has ease here, but still the buttons kind of, I don't know, can you see how they bubble just a bit? This, like this one is the worst, I think. It's fine. I put some glass buttons. I don't know if I love it. Would I wanted some wooden ones or some, maybe some plastic ones that match this, but I have these glass ones that have like a little flower, but you cannot really see that, but they're quite cute. Overall, I love this. It's so special, the yarn. I love knitting this. It was 4mm needles. Loved it, and I just, if I have like a quantity like this, I think I would knit this one because it doesn't use a lot yarn at all, and I love cardigans, so it's fun and I like it. It's just a good pattern, maybe not the best fit wise, but I wanted a round neck and very basic one, and I have my Eva cardigan pattern, but that's a v-neck and I didn't want a v-neck, but I love the shoulder construction of that one, so maybe I could hack it somehow. Petiteknit has the Maggie cardigan, but it has a tighter gauge, and this is a 21 stitch gauge maybe, and I hit that gauge, I think, with this combination. It's quite similar to the called for combination, but I love it, and I love the color. It's so bright. The fabric is not consistent because the fluffy yarn is lighter than the merino yarn, so it creates very fun little fabric, but I love it. Then my next finished object I also wanted to finish for the trip, and I did, and I would say that this is probably my favorite summer piece that I have ever done, and here it is. It's the Ophelia blouse by Starcrossed knits, Tamara Johnson maybe? I don't know. Can you see it, or is the color not really giving? It's the most beautiful button-up t-shirt. It has v-neck. It's a drop shoulder but with short row sleeves. It's open at the front. It has this lace edging and crochet edging everywhere on the hem as well, and along the v-neck. It's the most beautiful piece ever. I love this. It looks so good on me. I want to wear this every day. I just absolutely love this. I started this I think already in May, but I really powered to get it done for my trip. So I finished this at the end of June, and I plucked it the previous night that I had to leave, and it was dry by the morning, and it's so good. I love this. The pattern it's a good pattern. There is a lot of options because it has waist decreases and then again increases for the hip, because it should be like a quite neutral ease. You can maybe see the kind of curve there. You can change the rates of decreases and increases. I didn't, because I almost hit the size charts almost, and I thought that I'm just not gonna do it. I needed the size 2, which I think is like 0 is for me. It's like my size for this. I think this recommended a little bit of positive ease, but I have 0. But it does stretch with wearing, because the yarn I used for this is Tynn by Sandnes garn. This label has been bitten. Okay, my rabbit ate it. She actually ate some of this yarn also. And this is my last skein, so it's a bit bitten here, but I worked this from the inside, so it's fine. This is in a color green tea, 9541. It's absolutely my favorite color of Sandnes garn, but they only have this on a linen basis, so I cannot knit a wool sweater in this. This yarn is 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen, and it's fingering weight. I love this yarn. It's my favorite summer yarn. It's my second time using this, and it's so good. Now this t-shirt only used 2 full skeins, and you can see that this is almost full still. And the recommendation for the meterage was like 750. Yeah, 750 meters or 700. I don't want to lie to you, but it was around that. And I don't think I maybe used 500 meters of yarn. So this is my 3rd skein, and I have so much of it left, way over half. It's crazy. I will wear this on my next video, and I will remember to weigh the actual amount for this, because I think because I was very stressed to not have enough yarn, because I only had 2, and for the recommendations I would have needed 4. So actually I managed to do everything else but 1 sleeve with 2 skeins, and I think that is because this is quite a loose gauge. It's a 24 stitch gauge for this fingering weight yarn, so it's very like flowy. I used 3.5 millimeter needles, so it's quite of a big needle size for this. It recommends 3. I do prefer knitting this yarn on a 3 millimeter, but I didn't mind the 3.5 at all. And because how little this used yarn, and I got this yarn on sale for like €3 a ball. This is extremely cheap project. I will also have the price to tell you next video. I'm so sorry for not doing that, but I haven't taken notes because I finished this in quite of a rush. but I just love this. So the lace on the edges is so pretty, and the crochet is so cute. The crochet really makes this so pretty. I fully recommend doing the crochet even though you don't know crochet. I wasn't able to follow the written instructions for the crochet. They were very confusing. I have crocheted in the past more. I don't do so often anymore, but I know how to read crochet charts and read instructions. But she has a video and the video is great, but you can really see that she's not a crochet designer. But otherwise the pattern is very good. Only the crochet instructions were a bit crazy, but the video really helps. But it's just so pretty, and I was right on gauge on this one, which thank God. I was also on a row gauge, so it just made it go way smoother, and the end result is so perfect, and I just love this. I love the color also. I do get a bit, I'm super pale, I don't get tan at all, and wearing these like rich colors with my red hair, like this combo with my hair and the like rich colored cardigan makes my skin a bit warmer looking, and I don't look as dead. But this makes me look white as a ghost, but I don't mind that. I also like that. I don't have a preference of looking dead or looking alive, but I just love this. And actually I can already see some on the hem, a bit of like wear on this yarn, but it's alright. I like this. It's not the most fun to knit, it's very slippery, but the end result, it's very good summer friendly yarn. I haven't tried the thicker versions of this yarn, but I really like the thin one because the gauge for this is so good. I don't know if I would knit it again on 3.5mm. Maybe I would, depends on the project, but I do like it better on 3mm. But that's this one. Oh, and I just have some plastic buttons here. I first thought to put some green ones, but they didn't really match this green. But I would love to find like very special, maybe like pearl buttons for this. That will look good, like white ones. These are just plastic white, but they're fine. And I put 4 buttons. You can really choose how many and where you put these, because the buttonholes go into the crochet that you add at the latest point. So you really only make the decision then. But this is this one. And I will also now mention that I needed a matching Sophie scarf for this cardigan with the rest of the yarn, and it looks absolutely terrible because the middle point looks terrible because I always tie these into my ponytails. That's how I use my Sophie scarves. I have one brown one, now I have this. It matches, it's so cute, but I always tie it on my ponytail, so that's why it looks a bit beaten, but it's cute in a ponytail. And I did this with the leftover. I shortened it by 1 increase, so therefore I shortened it also by 1 decrease, 1 increase and 1 decrease, and that's good because I had like this much of the suri left. I still have like a little nugget of the merino, but I don't know where it is, but this is a good one. Then I have a little half finished up project. I'm crocheting these potholders, I think they're called in English. I'm making these because, well, I will talk about this later, but I'm making these crochet. I have here one is partially done, and I'm using some stash yarn. This is Fibra Natura Shepherd's Own in the color 02, light beige, and this is just some stash leftover yarn from a jumper, and these actually use quite a bit of yarn because I'm holding this double to make it thick and have no holes so I don't burn my hands. And this is an worsted weight yarn, and I'm holding it double and using a 5mm crochet hook, so it is quite dense, but it's a good thing that it's dense. I just looked up a tutorial for like a solid granny square, and this came up, and then I just did a little edging to make them cute. But I will make 2 as a set for myself, and they're gonna be so cute. And it's a great stash buster, but I don't need like a million potholders, so I thought about making these to take the things out of oven, and then making a few more cute ones to like colorful and lacy and all that for using under pots on a table. But I think these 2 are just gonna be enough. Maybe if I get inspiration I will do more, but I think this will be good. And I made sure to take a yarn. This is 100% wool. It's not even sock yarn because I'm scared that if I even choose a sock yarn that has 25% plastic that it will melt. So this will not melt because it's wool. And this one I've just done today. I will block them because they're a bit ripply, but they will be cute. Yep, I'm making those. It's gonna be a cute little set. Another little project, this one I took on a trip with me. I didn't end up knitting a lot on the trip, but it's fine. And it's this sock for my sister, and this, it's just a TK weight sock. I'm holding fingering weight yarn together. I am using this purple yarn. This is the softest sock yarn ever. If you want the world's most softest sock yarn, use this. It's 75% alpaca and 25% polyamide or nylon. I don't know, but it just feels, it's quite slippery, but it feels so good. I don't know what it is, but it's by Katia. I think it's called alpaquina. And it's quite expensive. Also, it's like 15 euros for 100 grams. And I wanted to make these socks DK because these are for my sister and that's what she prefers. And I wasn't sure if I would be able to get a pair of socks holding this double because it has 360 meters, which is a bit less than in normal fingering because alpaca is a bit heavier than wool, I guess. So then I got this Sandnes garn sisu, which is a fingering weight sock yarn. It's 80% wool and 20% nylon, and it's super wash. This is also very soft, so it doesn't really take away, but it's not as soft like when I compared these. So I did the ribbing, so I held the 2 different yarns together, so it's a bit marled, but the pink is quite prominent on the ribbing. And then the rest of the sock, it's just the yarn held double, and I did 47 rows of the ribbing here, and then this is a 44 stitch sock. My sister and we have the same size foot, so I've been just doing these the way that I do for myself. EU size 37. I'm just turning the heel, so it's a bit chaotic now, but I'm just doing the heel turn, the little short rows here, so I have to keep the 2 needles always there, but I'm this far on the other. And these have been, it's Thursday now, and this is all that I have knitted this week. I haven't been knitting a lot now, but it's fine. And this looks like a chaos. Oh my god. Yeah, this will be quickly finished, and the yarn is so soft and nice. And I would never knit with these colors for myself because I don't think they suit me at all. This kind of old rose color, maybe a less saturated, I like, but not purple. But my sister loved these colors, so I love working on these. It's so fun. I just adore it, and they're gonna be so cute. I love them. Then I have another crochet project, which is fun. It's the Fleur cardigan, no, Fleur sweater by Sandnes garn. It is one of their newer little booklets where you only can buy the single patterns, not the like whole books. And it's a crochet thing, and you have to crochet like a million little squares and then sew them together. And I have started crocheting the little squares. This, I think it's a bit hard to show. I will try to put photos of these more up close and the pattern photos. I do have the pattern, but I memorized the crochet chart like after the first one, so I don't know. I also took this on my trip, but maybe I did like 4 of these on the trip. But I timed myself, it takes me 12 minutes to knit one if I'm on a boat. I don't know how long it takes me if I'm home, but on the boat it took me 12 minutes. I don't know if the boat adds stress or adds productivity, because I couldn't do anything else. But I have 8 now, and I have to knit like well over 100. I think I counted it, but I don't know. But it has a very helpful, it has the written instructions for this and a crochet chart. They're neither very good, I don't think. I don't know if I'm still doing them correctly, but I had to use them both to understand how to do this. But it's fine. I haven't woven the ends yet, which is probably a mistake, because it has the center beginning and then the ending, and it's 2 strands of yarn, and it's a lot, but they're very fun to knit. I had to size down from the pattern to use a 4mm hook instead of a 4.5mm that the pattern recommended, so I'm using 4mm. And the yarns I'm using is the called for yarn, Tynn gynt. This is called for in the pattern. This is in the color natura. I don't know how to pronounce Norwegian. I know Swedish, but I don't know how to do the Norwegian. They say that it's Swedish, but in a whole potato in your mouth, so I guess that's it. And then I'm using for mohair, the pattern of course recommended Sandnes garn Tynn silk mohair, but I'm using Alize kit mohair. It's not the best, and also it's pink. It's in the color candlelight, and when I ordered it I was like, oh, it's like a natural white. No, it's a pink, but it kind of disappears, the pinkness. It's fine. It's not the best mohair, it's quite scratchy actually. It's 62% kit mohair and 30% polyamide, so it's not a silk mohair, it's just a mohair, but it's very cheap. It's maybe like €3 ball, or I got it on sale for €3, and I got 3 balls. But it's a lace weight mohair. It's okay. It's good for this project. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to take a little break from filming because I had to charge my battery, and I actually finished my other potholder at the time, so now they're done. But I just wanted to say that the crochet sweater and the socks were very good travel projects. It was a week-long trip, and we went by boat and with bus. We didn't fly or anything like that, and I ended up only really doing the crochet thing at the boat. I didn't do any in the buses, only in the boat, so I think I overpacked a bit, but it's fine. They were good, and now I have kind of recently noticed that on the trips, if I go on a trip, I don't really knit at all most of the time, so that's kind of a realizations. And then I have a super exciting thing to show you. It's a whip. I started it before going on the trip, like a week, and I finished this one piece of it. before and right after, and I haven't cast on the other pieces yet. So this is a vintage cardigan from this, I think, year 75, 6, I don't remember, but it's from a Finnish crafting magazine. The pattern, and it's a cardigan, it's knitted in pieces, it's thick, and it's looking like this. Oh my god. So this is the back panel. It's like curling in width wise, so it's gonna be a lot wider, especially the cable repeat like this. It's gonna be wide, oversized, and just look at it for a while. It's so pretty. I don't know how I did this. I will put a photo of the pattern, but it's a pattern for a cardigan, but it has a photo of a cardigan that's knitted in these kind of batches, but the instructions for the batchy cardigan just says that knit as the other cardigan but with different yarns. So that's not really giving any information, so you just have to follow the pattern for the non-colorful version and just figure out everything else on your own. But this is the back panel, and I think it's quite good. On the back panel I had to do, or I didn't have to do, but I wanted to do intarsia. I won't do it on the fronts or the sleeves, but I did it on this because it's so wide. Because the front panels are of course knitted separately because it's a cardigan, so they will be more blocks than stripes. But if I would have done just with only one, it would be more of a stripe than a block. So I did some intarsia block like this. This is, I think, my first proper time doing intarsia. I have tried to do it, but I don't know how I haven't been able to do it, because back then I watched like a tutorial. Now I just didn't watch a tutorial and I did it. If you can see, you can see this is now the wrong side. They're twisted, and of course this is very easy intarsia because it's just a straight line. But this makes me quite like confident to do more complicated intarsia maybe. But yeah, this is giving chic. No, it's giving scrap yarn, and I'm using my stash scraps for this. On the ribbing here, the ribbing I will do the same on the front, otherwise I won't repeat any of these squares. But here I am holding Gynt by Sandnes and Drops Daisy, so 2 DK weights. Now this is work on 6mm on a 14 stitch gauge, but the ribbing is on 5, and the ribbing, I think it was not so nice because the yarn was so thick, but it turned out okay and I like it. Then here I'm using 2 strands of some Finnish wool. Other one is a DK and the other one is more like a sport. Then here I have like a basket weave stitch. First some double moss stitch, then some basket weave stitch, and here I have 2 strands of arvetta, 1 strand of a lace wool yarn and 1 strand of a lace mohair. And here on this cable and bubble repeat I have 1 strand of Drops Nepal, so that's a Aran weight wool and alpaca yarn, and 1 strand of a color changing like variegated sock yarn. It makes it look so cool, so a fingering weight. And then here I have 1 strand of hand-dyed yarn fingering weight and 2 strands of sport weight sock yarn. The fingering weight is quite subtle, but it makes it have a bit of texture, I feel like. And then here I'm holding 1 strand of the Fibra natura, shepherd's own actually, and then some Drops Flora, and here is 2 strands of Petiteknit. This is no information for you, but just like, it's amazing, and I can use so much. This is gonna use 500 grams of scrap yarns. That's amazing, and it just goes so quickly. even though it's like stitch patterns and intarsia, it goes quite quickly because of the 6mm needle, and it's just so good. I love it. It's so fun and fresh to knit on, and this just boosts my creativity. Like this panel I'm very proud of. This looks nice with the bubbles and all. This other cable thing, it's not so successful because here I also had to do the armhole shaping, and you can maybe see that I started another one of these ones here, but I quickly had to stop it because of the shaping. And maybe this block is a bit big here. I don't know, maybe I could have done also bubbles there. And then I just did garter stitch with the Petiteknit. But it's very fun. Now I'm kind of stalling because I have to choose the colors and the yarns I'm gonna use for the fronts and the sleeves. I think I'll do the sleeves next. But I just have to decide. Like, I think 3 colors per sleeve is gonna be good. So I just have to put them like this and decide what to do, and then I can start them again. But this was very fun, and I don't know how much I will get wear out of this, but maybe it's gonna be my home cardigan and I can get rid of my home cardigan, which is like thrifted, looks terrible, and this could be my new, like, way cooler one. But yeah, and also the back side with the intarsia kind of showing through looks very fun. I don't know, I just love this. Then I will give you one update on a project, and it's a sad one. Now, I have shown this maybe a few times before, and it's my Polina pullover. I'm gonna frock this. I don't like the fit. Okay. I don't know if I will frock the whole thing or only the sleeve and re-knit the sleeve, probably without the color work and without the creases, because now it's like a skin tight sleeve and I don't love that. So something has to be done with this. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the white and the gray, you can really see on camera it doesn't look so bad, but in real life it's not very straight at all. Just the texture of the fabric, my gauge or my tension isn't really good, and I don't like working on this. I actually got a 30cm 3.5mm needles just to knit these sleeves, but now I'm like, do I even like this thing? I don't think I do. So yeah, and the yarns are quite nice, so they would deserve something better. I don't know. I don't like it, and it's fine. I will figure out something. But I will frock at least the sleeve. It's sad because it was a lot of work and I learned a lot doing this, but I just don't think that I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna ask my mom if she wants this, but also I don't feel motivated to finish it if I don't even like it as it is, so we'll see. But that's a sad update, but also an honest update. And now let's get on to yarn acquisitions. The yarn I got some yarn on my trip, and before that I got a sweater quantity. I got 8 skeins of Drops Daisy because it was on sale. I don't think it might still be, but I got 8 balls of this. I should have gotten 10. I got only 8. I don't know why I'm thinking only 8 will be enough, but I got 8. This is 100% extra fine merino wool. I had previously bought 1 skein of this to try out if I like it, and I really like it. And these were, I have the receipt here. Yeah, €2.45 per ball, so not a lot. It was the normal price that I can get this is €3.50, so €1 off is quite a lot. So I got 8 of this. I love the color. It's in the color, I think, is this like moss green? I think it's 17. I really like this color. Knitting for Olive really is their something sweater, and that's lace sweater, and I think it will look so good on this, because I don't think I want to do cables with this, because it would be quite tight gauge, because it's quite of a it's not very plump yarn, so I don't really want cables. But something texture is, because I already have a dark green stockinette jumper, so a cable one. I want a cable one. No, I want a cable one, but I also want a lace one, and this might be the lace one now. So that's this one. Let's get to things that I got in on my trip. And our trip, we went from Finland. We took a boat to Tallinn, Estonia, because that's the easiest way to get out of Finland. It's hard to get out of here because it's only surrounded by water. If you don't want to fly, you have to take a boat. So we took a boat to Tallinn. We were there for maybe 5 hours or something like that. Then we took a night bus left at 5 p.m. and it arrived at 6 to Warsaw, Poland. So we took a night bus from Tallinn to Poland. It was not fun, but I loved Warsaw. We were there for 1 night, but 2 full days, because then we were there from 6 a.m. to evening, and then we were spending a night at the hotel. Yeah, we were sleeping at the hotel, or it was a hostel, I think. And then the next day, evening at 9, another night plus bus to Vilnius, and same kind of time there, and then a final night bus to Tallinn again, and then home. So it was a 6-day from Monday to Saturday. I really liked it, but the night buses were hard. But on the first day, we had some time in Tallinn. We went to thrift stores, but then right next to a bus terminal there was a yarn store that I actually always look at their online store, because they have the most beautiful yarn and it's quite cheap. They have Isager silk mohair for 5 euros. In Finland I can get it for 8.60, and I don't know how they sell it for 5 euros. But I got this yarn. This is Crochet Deluxe silk mohair. This is super soft. It is actually 45% silk. That's a lot of silk. 33% mohair and 22% baby alpaca. So it's quite a lot of silk, and it's not just only mohair. And I think this makes it way softer than normal mohair. And I love the color. I think with this I'm gonna get a merino to hold with this and make a scarf. This was also quite cheap. This was 5 euros a ball or something like that. And these are 20 gram balls, but they're 240 meters. So it's a little thinner than, I would say, a standard one. And it has also, but it doesn't look thinner because the silk thing is a bit thicker, because there is a lot more silk than in some other ones. And it's the color 22. It's so pretty. I love it. And the store was wool and woolen. Amazing. I want to go there again, but I cannot. Of course, it's in Tallinn. But I got 2 of these. Very good. And then in Poland, I think we went to 1 yarn store. There wasn't really any that we could get to in Warsaw, but I didn't get anything from there. But then in Vilnius, in Lithuania, I first got this bad boy. It's Rosarius for Romania. It is 100% wool, and it's Portuguese wool. This yarn shop owner was very nice. I can't remember what it was in, what store this was, but a nice store in very central Vilnius. This is in the color 10, and yeah, it's so pretty. It's like a sport weight. This is 100 grams and 320 meters. It's quite bright. It's like this color, but this is more brown leaning. This is very bright, but I think I will knit like a little scarf and then some mittens with this, or gloves or mittens, and it's gonna be so cute. I only got one skein. First I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a sweater quantity of this, but then I realized that it's actually, yep, it's very bright, and I do like bright colors, but this is too bright, but I still love it, and I think it'll go very nicely with my winter jacket, so it's gonna be nice. And this was 10 euros, maybe like 9.90, quite like a medium priced, quite expensive I would say, but and this is very plump and like airy. I really like this. I haven't swatched with either of those yarns yet, but then, and neither have I with this. I'm sorry if these are very, but then I have this 4 balls, you can see 4 of this Texrena industrial wool yarn spinning. This reminds me of Tynn's wool yarn so much, because it's literally looks the same. It looks the same, feels the same. It had some of the same colors. I don't think Tynn's has this color, but this was 240 a skein, and I got 4 to make a sweater. I think I'll knit the Lyon sweater by Petiteknit, but this is 100 grams, 350 meters. Yeah, I think at the store the label said that it's Lithuanian wool, and I can't believe that. But the color is so pretty. I got this, there were 2 on the shelf, and I asked the lady if she has more, and she had 4, and I bought them all. But this color is so pretty. It's quite close to this one, but just a bit darker, and it's so pretty. It's like a mint green, but not mint. I don't know, it's not mint green, but it's so pretty. I just need like a basic jumper in this color, and this is so pretty. It's quite rough. It's a 2-ply wool. Again, looks exactly the same. I don't now have a Tynn's wool ball to show here, but those are 3 euros. This was 2.40, so it was a bit cheaper. But I love the color, and that's why I fell in love with this. And this was kind of like a souvenir store, not so much. It was like local goods store, and we walked past it, and I was like, there is yarn, we're going in there. And I found this, and it's so pretty. So I got most yarn in, no, I got 2 different yarns in Lithuania. I visited another yarn store, but I didn't get anything there. Then we went back to Tallinn. We had some time there, and we spent all the time in one yarn store, because my mom was like, I wanted to revisit the woolen store, but there was another yarn store next to it, and we went there first, and we spent all the time. We had to still like eat and do that, but all the like yarn shop time in that one, because it had 3 floors. It wasn't only a yarn store, it was also a fabric store, and like everything you need in a crafting, anything you could get there. It was crazy. And this, I didn't even know about this place. It was my mom's idea, so it's her fault for bringing me there. But we were there for like 2 hours. It was crazy, but it was lovely also, and the prices were quite cheap. So I ended up getting 1 quantity of yarn and then some tools. I'm gonna show tools first. I got some Adi needles. I got 4 pairs. I have already few on some projects, but I got the 3.5mm 30cm because we don't have any. I haven't seen any 30cm circles in Finland, and I haven't seen any addi needles in Finland, so it's fun. And then I got 60cm 3mm, 80cm 5mm, and 80cm 4.5 because these are the ones I've been missing. I have the 4.5 and 5 only in wooden, and I don't like to knit on wooden needles. And then I have very bad 3mm 60cm, and that's like the one I knit camisoles on, and I want my camisole needles to be very nice. So now I have these. These were like €5 there per pair, so I spent quite a lot of money on those. But then I think like needles are like investment for the future. Like you can use them so much. And I tried them, and they're like as good as the Chiago, but the Chiago are 3 times more expensive. So I'm thinking that I saved money even though I spent money. Yeah, that's not good. And then I got some light bulb stitch markers because they were selling those there as like just safety pins, and they were like €1 for 20, so it was very cheap. And I got a yarn winder. I work at a thrift store, and a Swift came in there, and I was like, that's mine. That is mine. So I got it. So I got a Swift for free, and then it was maybe like €10 cheaper to get the yarn winder there than in Finland. So I got it there. So overall, my Swift and yarn winder combo isn't very expensive, because if I would buy those 2 new in Finland, it would be like €80, and I'm not gonna spend that much money on those. So yeah, now I have a yarn Swift thing, and it's very fun. It's not a necessarily thing I have knitted a long time without it, but it's very nice to have one. Yep, and then I got my yarn. This is some very special yarn. I haven't seen this. I googled, it's Slovakian or Slovenian. Now it's Slovakian yarn. I'm so sorry for all Slovenian and Slovakian people, because it's very embarrassing to mix up those two. But this is called Sylvia. It's 70% wool, superwash, and 30% silk. And I got 10 skeins, so it is well enough to make a sweater, and that's what I'm planning to do. I will probably do something with cables or some texture. I did a swatch. Here I have on the bottom with double moss stitch, then with some cables, but I don't love how the cables look. I used 4.5mm needle. This is 50 grams and 160 meters, but it recommends 3 to 3.5mm needles, so that's a bit funky. And then stockinette, and it's a 20 stitch gauge on all of those. I haven't blocked this. It's superwash, so it might grow, but it's really nice yarn, and I want to do something cabled with it. Maybe a cardigan, but probably a sweater. And it's a very special yarn. Like, I have never seen this anywhere else, and I don't think I will. So I used my opportunity to get it. And yeah, if I want to get yarn on a trip, it has to be something that I cannot get anywhere else. And these are all like this. I haven't never seen these yarns before, and yeah, none of these yarns exist in Finland. I don't think so. I don't think I have anything else to say today. Next podcast will be a bit different, I think, in some settings, but it's fine. And I want to wish you have a nice time, have a nice summer. It's not very warm now, even though it's July. You can see I'm wearing a wool cardigan, and it's fine. It's quite cloudy and windy outside, and a bit chilly. So yeah, I'm just living my life here, working knitting, sleeping. It's good. It's my holiday from studying, so I'm using it to do those things, and it's fun. I'm having a good time, and I hope you're having too, and just enjoy life, and bye bye. I hope to see you next time. Bye.